Hey, happy full moon in Aries. Today is Friday, September 29th. And ah, so the full moon was exact about 6 hours ago, a little before 3 a.m. Pacific time. And uh, there's a lot I want to share about this. And I was trying over the last few days to record a chat about it before it happened. And what I noticed was I was feeling the buildup of this very personal energy. Moon in Aries is a very subjective, very personal about me, about I am, about uh, how we connect with our inner energy, vitality, drive, desire, self-assertion, um, what we want, and how we are moving in our world towards what we want. Um, and I really think that I needed to be in that approach and in the energy building. Um, Still not super clear, but there are a lot of things in the astrology that I do want to share with you. What I mean is not super clear for me personally. It's going to unfold. And I invite you to always allow astrology to unfold for you. There are things that we talk about as we see them coming, different placements for the planets, different energies that are coming into view. And we can get our own insights and feeling of those energies a little before it happens, right when it happens, sometimes quite a bit after, like in hindsight, we can feel it. So I think it asks us to be open and um, willing to perceive, see how it feels to us each time. So the sun has been in Libra since the 22nd, late the night of the 22nd, so about a week. And this Libra season, I did a video for it, posted it in the Facebook group and on YouTube um, last week. Libra season is all about balance and how things are in relationship to each other. The me, how it's that me, my I am energy in relationship to another person, to ideas, to a group of people, to our environment. Like, how are we each in relationship? And Libra energy asks us to be aware of the other, aware of the relational space between, and it seeks out a harmony, a balancing. Um, Harmony can trick us up, can trick me up, because I think that means it has to be good all the time. Um, Libra is a sign ruled by Venus, so it does have that energy of beauty, goodness, truth, fairness, justice, all of these things of the scales, right? And it's also an air sign, so it has some objectivity and some detachment, which can bring about an equanimity of our minds. And so Libra energy ruled by Venus. And so we look in the chart, Venus is currently still in Leo. It's been an extended time in Leo, and it's about to move into new territory in Leo on October 7th. So we have about another week of Venus finishing up the retrograde shadow period. And so this is a time to really, sit with and be with the energy of that Venus retrograde, which was about July 17th until, oh my gosh, I wish I had the dates. But it's been out of retrograde for a while now. And we've been retracing our steps. And it's like going back over the ground that we traveled in evaluating our values and what we love, what brings us joy, what sparks our creativity, what engages us with our sense of ourselves and our authenticity, our self-expression, Leo energy, which can be full of childlike wonder and delight, and that like generosity of spirit, like kids have of wanting to share what they've done, what they can do, what they found, what they made, that kind of enthusiasm for life. And so Libra season with Venus in Leo has some of that energy. And so the last couple of weeks of Libra season will have Venus in Libra. I mean, Venus in Virgo, the next sign. And I'll talk about that the week that it happens. But for now, this Libra energy is ruled by a Venus in Leo. And so there's a relational quality of authentic connection, of enthusiastic sharing, and delighting in life. Leo is a fixed fire sign, warmth, light, shining out there with confidence, with courage. Okay, so the sun in Libra opposite the moon in Aries. Aries is a sign ruled by Mars, planet Mars. So we've got Venus ruled Libra opposite Mars in Aries. And so there's the balance opposition of Venus and Mars energy. Venus, the more feminine receptive energies, the yin, and Mars, the yang outward or yang energy in the zodiac. Mars is currently in the sign of Libra. So this is another energy, planetary activation energy in the sign of Libra. Mars in Libra isn't so comfortable because it's Venus's sign, but Mars in Libra, it's like it's activating or waking us up to the Libra energy in us, and to pay attention and to take action towards creating more balance in our relationships, for trying and finding that true balance. And that distinction for me is like, we can balance like this and effort at it, or we can allow and find, where does the balance really want to be? What are the qualities in our relationships that are present and are working for us, and that we can really honor and be true to? And what is a balance that maybe one person has been doing a lot of efforting to try to keep that balance, or to pretend that it's harmonious and in balance? And so I think Mars, with its qualities of self-assertion, of taking action, of kind of cutting through the fray, is helping us with the Libra energy of finding a truer balance. What is more real? What is more direct? Libra energy can sometimes be indirect and fawning to try to create a balance. And by fawning, I mean being overly considerate of the other, being people pleasing, maybe being codependent. Okay, so we want to, with this Libra energy, and we're coming into eclipse season with our first new moon solar eclipse on October 14th. I will be talking about that, but I wanted to bring it in here because this Aries full moon is giving us insight. It's kind of like kicking off this eclipse season where the nodal axis is in Libra and Aries. And we're going to have the next several eclipse seasons will be with these two energies for all of us. And so with this full moon in Aries, Mars in Libra is asking us to be direct about our Libra energy. Okay. And I think that's a really clean, crisp invitation. It doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it easy. You might need to make some changes in relationships. You might need to have hard conversations. Yesterday, I talked with a good friend of mine in Portland, Oregon, and who was, we often talk about astrology and how it's showing up for us personally. But she was sharing that in two of her friendships, she's feeling like, oh gosh, I really need to have these hard conversations and be honest and clear with these dear friends, because she was feeling sort of out of balance in their relationship or with past conversations. And so bringing herself to that, and I think that's an example of both the Venus in Leo. So what is the truth of her authentic expression? And for the good of relationship, Venus is a planet that signals our relationships. And also the Mars in Libra, being willing to take action to restore a healthier balance. So I really appreciated that conversation. And to see how that is also working for me. I've had a hard conversation this week, and like a renegotiating in one of my very, very closest relationships. And not easy, but I feel like the truth of it the heart-centered truth-telling on both of our parts, I think, is bringing us into a much better balance of relationship and a much more real and authentic expression. So the Aries moon is every full moon, sun shining directly on moon. And it's revealing to us, we're getting to see in full light up, what's our emotional experience of that energy? What is my emotional experience of Aries energy in my life? And it can be like you might have a really enthusiastic, healthy, vibrant, hell yes experience of Aries energy. Or you might be intimidated by it. It might feel too much, too direct, too pushy, perhaps. Aries can be very direct energy. Can reveal to you something about how it feels to take risks or to take action, to get moving on a project, to start something. And it could reveal something to you about your life currently. Like, is it time to get started with something? Is it time to take a risk and go for it in some area of your life? Is it, perhaps it was related to, is it time to have a difficult conversation for the sake of a more harmonious, true balance in a relationship? Whether that's with a friend, a partner, a family member, a colleague, an employer, an employee, any of these relationships in our lives can and actually we need to have checking in times with people. We need to be able to, speak to our changes in our energies or what we're noticing in a relationship, and to redesign it, to restore it to that fair, equitable, harmonious balance. So get curious about how that's showing up for you. And notice, do you feel in yourself, do you feel like you relate more to the Aries energy in you or to the Libra energy in you? And the thing is, we need both. We have both, no matter where in our birth charts Aries and Libra show up. Whether we have any planets in these two signs or not, we all experience these energies, and we're all experiencing them now with the full moon in Aries. Okay. Another energy that's really strong is the Mercury energy. So we have come out of our Mercury retrograde, and today is also the day that Mercury moves out of its shadow. So we're going to start to be in new territory with Mercury. Now, a lot of people I've talked to in the last week or so have said, wait, I thought Mercury retrograde was over. How come it still feels so confusing or so not direct? Well, Mercury in Virgo has been opposite Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is that planet of illusion and dreams and imagination and intuition. And in Pisces, it's very strong. That's the sign that Neptune rules, is Pisces. And Mercury opposite Neptune can help us access our intuition, can help us creativity, imagination, but it can also make things a bit foggy. It can make things feel really nuanced or really not quite sure how it's working. So while Mercury in Virgo, its home sign, is about clarity and critical thinking and discernment, with that Neptune influence directly across the zodiac, it can feel like it's not working quite up to speed. So as Mercury now is getting going, gaining speed as it's moving away from its retrograde, it will be in new territory. It will be in new degrees of Virgo. And then in a week or so, it's also changing signs into Libra. And then we'll have Mars, Sun, and Mercury all in Libra. Again, I'll do a talk about that when it gets here. But I wanted to highlight the Mercury opposite Neptune as we're working with this full moon energy. As you're perceiving with the moon, the emotional tone, what am I feeling in this? And what am I seeing about my emotional self, my needs? The moon is also reflects our needs. And how am I thinking about that? Mercury in Virgo, the discernment, the ability to analyze and make distinctions and tell how things can be made more clear. How can I bring things into more balance? Um, when I talked about the sun entering Libra and the equinox, I think I talked about, or I know I wrote it in my newsletter. So if you're just hearing this on YouTube and you're not on my newsletter, go to my website, tiffandillon.com, and sign up for the newsletter. I know I wrote about it in this newsletter that's coming out later today. That this whole lunar cycle is one that started with the new moon in Virgo. So it's a blending with the sun in Libra and the lunar cycle in Virgo, where we have access to processing with the Virgo discernment, with Mercury at the forefront. How can we think about and make those incremental changes that bring us into greater alignment, greater balance? So it's working with Virgo and Libra together. The solar season is Libra and the lunar season is Mercury. So I hope that makes sense, that we have the access to using our logical mind, our Mercury function, in a way to support coming into greater awareness and greater intentional balance in our lives. Okay. There's also a pattern in the sky of that Mercury, Uranus in Taurus, and Pluto and Capricorn are making grand trine. So the three earth signs have planets at or around 26 degrees, and they're connecting in conversation with one another in a really supportive teamwork flow way. So between our minds and how we're thinking, the surprise element, the awakening, the sort of shaking things up of Uranus and Taurus. Working with Mercury can be sudden insights, can be ahas, can be new perspectives that help us make the decisions and discern things. So Mercury working with Uranus really smoothly. And then the third planet is Pluto in Capricorn, that deep power, that transformative energy around the foundations of our lives, the structures and the forms and the foundations. And so I'm feeling it like I'm more aware of how the structures and foundations in my life are shifting and changing. Uranus trine Pluto has been in play for quite a while and will be for quite a while longer because these two planets move very slowly. And we're really waking up to greater power, greater, what do I want to say? Some kind of new structures in our lives that will be stronger and more powerful. It means the crumbling away, the falling away of structures that have ceased to be powerful or workable in our lives. And that might mean a lot of things to us. So that's going on. And at the same time, today is the exact conversation between Uranus and Taurus, that shake it up, wake it up energy, that unpredictable energy of something's changing, is in that square relationship with Venus in Leo. So this is the third time that Uranus and Venus have been in this conversation of shaking up what's our sense of our self-worth, our sense of what's true for us, waking us up to valuing ourselves more, knowing what's important to us at our heart, in our hearts, that Leo energy of authentic self-expression. And Venus being there of like, what is it that we love about that? What is it that you love about yourself? And can you wake up to even more of those qualities in yourself? And can you shake yourself free of whatever limitations or, constraints you've put on sharing that with others? Can you let yourself be freer in expressing what matters to you? Can you let yourself be freer in showing and demonstrating your love? And this full moon is showing like what is really true for for each of us, that Aries energy, what is sparking my vitality? What is sparking my desire, my impulse to act in my life? And so this full moon, I think, is a great opportunity to really become more aware and to take the actions to move ourselves into greater alignment with ourselves and within our relationships. So both and Aries and Libra, both the personal and the interpersonal, both me and we. And I'm excited about this actually. It in the buildup, I was feeling anxious about that. Like, oh no, if I express what I'm feeling, what I really want, what my desire is, I'm gonna not. I was afraid it wouldn't help bring my friendship into a better place. I was afraid it might ruin it. I was afraid that expressing what I really want would seem too selfish or seem too powerful or seem um, too direct or too something. But that's my tendency. I tend to worry on that Aries Libra axis. I tend to, I think, be concerned about how other people are responding and how can I show up to not rock the boat so much or to be pleasing and to be acceptable. And I'm feeling a personal call to show up more truthfully and more authentically. And I really sense that my relationships are going to feel stronger and more authentic as a result of that. And I've been having some wonderful sessions with clients lately in people accessing what they truly want and in having the difficult conversations, I will say, with important people in their lives. And it is really an honor for me to be invited into those conversations with you, to help you look at your chart and see where these energies are activating your chart, where the opportunities lie, to help give you a context of your own chart, your authentic map of who you are and your life's journey, so that you have that like map with the big red arrow that says you are here. And then we talk about the current energies, and that gives context for like, what am I moving through? Like what's the cosmic weather for this day, week, season, what have you. Quite a few people, well, on equinox last Saturday, I participated in a beautiful equinox celebration and was offering mini astrology readings throughout the day. And many of those conversations were looking at the season ahead, like, okay, this Libra energy is kicking off the whole fourth quarter of the year. And how can we move through the next couple of months, next 3 months, with these energies in mind? And how can we align to our true selves, our true map, and be flexible and adaptive in working with the energy of the universe? So that partnering with the planets. I want the universe to feel like my partner for the good of my life. That's my basic belief here, is that we can work with the energies within us as our partners and allies, and the energies of the planets currently moving through for our good, for our growth, for our self-awareness, and bringing ourselves into greater health, alignment, and expression, so that we're really as bright and shiny and powerful as we can be. And that has a positive impact out in the world. I want you to be as true to yourself, as bright and shiny and healthy and true and powerful, so that I can partner with you in different ways, whether that's as a friend, as a listener and person in my orbit here, as a client, any of these ways. And so if I can be of help to you in translating some of these cosmic universal energies in your chart, in the current sky, please reach out. I would be happy to talk with you and see how we might partner and help you create your stellar life. There you go. All my buzzwords in one. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy full moon. With the full moon is a release of energy. So you could feel like energy and emotions are high. It's also a time to exhale and release it and allow it then to play out in your week. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.